TheTeroUniversity.com. In this presentational video, we are going to discuss the importance of having your reading paced. And by paced, I mean what type of rhythms that you should have within your reading, how you should pace it out. And pacing is very important. Pacing is what will make a reading great. If you learn how to pace and how to keep your reading flowing in an entertaining fashion. I really want to emphasize the importance of this because not a lot of readers think of this facet of their reading. They don't think about how it's paced or how the reading feels to the client. When you think of a great movie, think of your favorite movie, and not just your favorite, but like any of the movies that are considered some of the best of all times. A good film has all the elements of a interesting story, and none of it lags. It has action, adventure. It'll have moments of romance. It'll have moments where the movie goes right down to a very emotional level, where there's a lot of dialogue. And there are other parts of the film that will make you cry, parts that will make you happy, parts that will make you cheer. But it's made up of several different elements, and they're all tied together in a nice rhythm so that everything is paced together. And by paced, I'm talking about P-A-C-E, pace. And pacing your reading, keeping it so that it flows. So that there's not long moments of quietness. There's not long moments of where you're speaking really fast. A good reading will have all the elements of a great movie. It'll have moments of a great excitement, moments of sadness, moments where you bring it down a notch, moments where there's a lot of action and excitement. And so you want to make your readings like a good movie. I emphasize this a lot on TheTeroUniversity.com that readings are really another form of entertainment. And this makes a lot of traditional readers kind of upset with me, and they don't agree with that. I have to explain to them, no, I believe that readings can be very spiritual. I believe that readings can be very important, that they can change a person's life, that it's life reaffirming, that it's an empowering thing for a client to go through. I believe all this with all of my heart, and I emphasize those things in my readings. However, we have to face the fact that this is a form of entertainment. Now, entertainment doesn't mean frivolous. I mean, even when you were young, those of you in America and those of you who have grown up on Sesame Street know that education can be entertaining and that kids learn better when they feel that they're being entertained. And so I learned from Sesame Street how to say the alphabet. And it was very entertaining because Grover taught me how to read the alphabet. And it was very entertaining. And to this day, I'll remember little things that might have happened on Sesame Street or the Electric Company, for those of you who might remember that show for the older kids. But I remember these little elements of entertainment that taught me, and that these lessons stayed with me. So entertainment does not mean frivolous or does not mean unimportant. And so you can keep your reading, you can keep it entertaining, and you can make it something that your client is going to enjoy. And one of the ways that you keep your entertaining reading entertaining is by making sure that what you're saying to your client is said in such a way that there's a pace involved, that you're not speaking too quickly, that you're all the time, that you're not, your whole reading isn't at a really high point all the time. A good reading, a full-length reading that's an hour long, it should be like a good movie. It should have elements of excitement, elements of drama, elements of romance. It should cover a lot of bases, and you should do it with a nice pace. And by this I mean sometimes when something exciting happens in a reading, you want to just burst out of your skin and you want to really tell your client, and your voice may be at a higher level and you may speak really fast. And that's okay during those moments because those are the action parts of the reading. At other times, you'll want to bring the pace down a little bit. You're talking about very serious things. You want to also allow your pace to be set by your client a lot of times. If your client is really depressed when they come to you and their reading is showing them what's going on in their life and how, it's very upsetting right now to be them, to always have the reading fast-paced and in their face is not a good thing to do. So sometimes you have to follow the lead of the client so that, you don't turn them off by being too crazy or rambunctious. But even in those cases, there are going to come times in the readings where you'll really want to emphasize the positiveness of what you're doing for them. And so your pace will have to quicken during those times. And sometimes your pace will lower, and sometimes, but you have to keep a nice rhythm, and that's really what pacing is all about. If you get a reading and you're looking down at your spread, and you do need to take some time, and it's to study the cards, and it's okay to be quiet. You don't have to jump right in to the reading. You could take some time to soak in the cards, look at the images, ask your inner voice what you're supposed to do for the client, how you're supposed to teach them, or what you're supposed to teach them, and what are important lessons that they need to take from your reading. Yeah, you'll need to do all of that. And if you can make your reading and the pacing of your reading change, so the tempo is different, the tonality of your voice is different at times, you're giving them an entertaining reading. And like I said, a reading should cover the gamut of emotions for your client. And you control that part of the reading. And even when you look at your cards and you're taking a moment to soak it all in, don't take too long doing it. I believe very strongly that it's perfectly all right to soak it in and to then go into your interpretation. Too many readers dive right in because they want the client to think that they're fully in control and they know what they're talking about and they can just jump into the reading. But a lot of times, taking some drama, making some drama, creating drama by looking at the cards and pausing for the right amount of time, it can be a pretty exciting thing, and it can also be a very scary thing for your client, because your client will be looking at you like, what's taking so long here? What do these cards mean? And so you can create drama by those pauses. Just don't overdo it, and you keep a nice pace. I mean, like I said, the pace of the reading will change. It's not going to be something that will be the same all throughout, and if it is, you're going to have a very dry and boring reading. So I hope this gave you some things to think about, and I look forward to talking more about this issue, because this is such an important part of presentation, and too many readers don't think about it. But because you're a member of TheTarotUniversity.com, you're thinking about this, and you should be very excited about adding proper pacing to your reading.